Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' This D. About to react to this video by Impressive. This is Beyonce's dad slams people for comparing Chloe Bailey to Beyonce. Matthew said Beyonce! Bitch, Beyonce! The boy like Luther Vandross. And then Lil Nas X versus Tekashi. What? That's a weird beef. And then T.I. and Tiny, I guess we're about to get an update on, they little trafficking or whatever they're doing, child. So sure, let's see what's going on with these people. Let's watch. Beyonce.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive channel. There are a couple of topics I want to talk about in this video. I do want to give an update on what's going on with T.I. and Tiny because things have gotten really serious with their case. But before I do, I want to start off with something a little lighter. I mean, it's not all that light. It's kind of shady, actually. But Matthew Knowles, who is Beyonce's father, recently did an interview with Leah A. Henry on YouTube. And he was asked about the comparisons brought up between Beyonce and her protege, Chloe Bailey, from the group Chloe and Halle. Now, a lot of people have been saying that Chloe is a young Beyonce based off of her mannerisms, the way she sings, the way she even dances. A lot of people have been comparing Chloe to the legendary Beyonce. And I have a few thoughts on this myself, but I'm going to first play what Matthew Knowles said about the comparisons between Chloe and his daughter Beyonce.
Why do you have to even answer this question?
Speculate.
Why are you Why is Matthew fucking Knowles being interviewed anyway? What? We don't care about what's happening with this cheetah. We don't want to hear about him and what's going on with him. I'm so confused, girl. Why are you interviewing him anyway?
Beyonce. People constantly compare Chloe to Beyonce.
Wait, she been knowing these niggas since they've been little? I didn't know that.
A younger Beyonce. Do you see the comparison? Like the same thing that you saw in young Beyonce, do you see that in Chloe Bailey?
You gotta be kidding me, right? You asking me that question?
Yes, I want to know.
Are you actually serious that you're comparing that young lady to Beyonce?
People say if there was anybody to play a biopic.
Okay, you're talking about if someone was doing a movie, not
but no, people compare them. People do compare them.
Talent-wise? Are you telling me talent-wise somebody is an idiot enough to compare her to Beyonce talent-wise?
Chill out.
They say she's literally like a young Beyonce in the making.
I'm asking you a yes or no question. Are you telling me someone's an idiot enough to compare her
Matthew, chill out.
She's very talented, but Beyonce's
a yes or a no. Are there people saying her talent is equal to Beyonce? They are idiot. Period.
Well, boo.
So that was Matthew's reaction to the comparisons between Beyonce and Chloe. And if you actually saw the rest of the interview, it ended in a very awkward way. Matthew was clearly upset. But here's my thoughts on what Matthew said. First of all, I understand that Beyonce is his daughter, and he has a right to look at Beyonce like she's.
But he ain't got to do all that and shake that girl like that.
Because Beyonce has reached to a level where she is in the conversation of being one of the.
How he could have answered that is there's only one Beyonce, but she's talented. He could have said that and kept it the fuck pushing. You didn't have to be like Beyonce.
Entertainers of all time. So I understand why Matthew feels strongly against people comparing Beyonce to other upcoming artists. Beyonce is in a league of her own. Let's be very clear.
Let's be clear.
Her own. And there will never, I repeat, never be another Beyonce. But with all that being said, Chloe is nothing to play around with either. I think Matthew's comments came off as a little dismissive towards Chloe. He said that anybody would be an idiot to compare Chloe to Beyonce. But I don't think it's idiotic at all. It's obvious that Chloe is inspired by Beyonce. And on top of that, Beyonce is Chloe's mentor. She's signed to Beyonce. So, of course, there's going to be some influence there. However, I think Chloe and her sister Halle have their own musical identity. So while I understand the comparisons, I don't think Chloe is just a young Beyonce. She's definitely her own artist. She's an amazing singer, an amazing songwriter, and a great producer. And This is something I feel like people don't highlight enough. Chloe is
I
an
know she
incredible
making
producer.
beats. That's what's
Both
up.
her and her sister Hallie are great musicians. Great musicians. So what they do and the sounds that they create for their music is different from what Beyonce does.
That makes sense.
So they're
though,
not
'cause
even in the same lane for
I'll talk
real.
about that at the end,
And this is
child.
really the downside of comparing upcoming artists to established icons. When people make these comparisons, they tend to diminish the upcoming artists and the talents that they bring. This is why I think it's important to allow
They're so
every
cute.
artist to come into their own and create their own lane for themselves instead of making them live up to the standard of another artist. But those are just
Aw.
my thoughts on that. Now on to the next topic. I want to talk about Lil Nas X putting Tekashi 6ix9ine on blast for sliding in his DMs. Now Lil Nas X was minding his business like he always does, and Tekashi thought it would be funny to throw shade at him. DJ Academics posted an article about China making COVID anal swabs mandatory for foreigners, and 6ix9ine threw shots at Lil Nas and said Lil Nas X entered the chat, and he put a dead emoji.
He's so corny.
Now obviously he was trying to take digs at Lil Nas' sexuality, and Lil Nas said, okay, I got a response for that. So what he did was he posted DMs that 6ix9ine sent him. Back in October of last year, 6ix9ine said, yo. 6ix9ine DM'd him again in February and said, gonna be in your city soon. What you doing? LOL. And he put a heart emoji and a smiley face emoji. Now, I find it very, very, very interesting that 6ix9ine was trying to throw shade at Lil Nas X, but he was up in his DMs.
Yeah, that
This
don't make
obviously
sense.
shook 6ix9ine because he actually went on Instagram and tried to deny sliding in Nas's DMs.
Before this shit even start, we're gonna nip this shit in the... This is my gram right here. 6ix9ine, this is my account. Let's go, hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Look,
Why was he just right there though?
stop playing with me, son.
Now, I don't know why Tekashi posted this because this honestly proves nothing.
It
You
don't.
could actually delete conversations in your DMs. I tested this out. You could actually do this, but the other person still sees the DMs that you sent them. So Lil Nas X still saw the DMs that Tekashi sent him, even though Tekashi 6ix9ine deleted the messages. So that really proved
And his
nothing.
profile was
Tekashi
right up
put
the
on
top.
blast.
He didn't even have to
tried be
search him.
shady, but Lil Nas X
What
put
was
him
up with
on blast,
that?
and I'm glad some rapper was able to get him together because I'm tired of Tekashi going around trolling and antagonizing other
Tekashi is
rappers
dumb for even
and
coming
making
at
fun of
him when
dead
he know he
rappers
was
to
sliding
get
his
people to
DM.
respond.
Or maybe he
We all
forgot.
know that Tekashi is with the feds, so he knows that if these rappers were to retaliate against
so
him,
corny.
they would get in trouble.
So
So
lame.
Tekashi trolls them all the time because he's protected and he does this to get clout. It's honestly pathetic.
It
And
is.
Tekashi has other things to worry about. He should be taking care of his daughter because his baby mama already put him on blast for not taking care of his child.
That was fair.
And she also called him out for putting his child and her family in danger over his stupid beefs. So he should be more concerned about that, but he's too busy trolling other rappers. Tekashi is just a gutter snipe. Plain and
Oh,
simple.
well, I never heard
And
that.
speaking of gutter snipes, let's talk about T.I. and Tiny.
What the fuck
and
is
the
a gutter
updates
snipe,
surrounding
bitch?
Their scandalous case because things are not looking good for them at all. Now, for those who don't know the backstory, this whole mess started off when T.I. and Tiny's former associate, Sabrina Peterson, called T.I. out for putting a weapon to her son's head and being violent toward her. And also, she exposed T.I. and Tiny for trafficking women, drugging them, and having their way with them while they're unconscious. Sabrina started off by posting several anonymous stories from the alleged victims, and now 11 of these victims are being represented by a lawyer named Tyrone A. Blackburn.
Come on,
And
Tyrone.
right now the lawyer is seeking for T.I. and Tiny to be criminally charged. And some of the stories I've read about these victims are very, very sad and very disturbing. And I'm not going to go into detail because I want to save that for another video. But right now, the lawyer representing these victims is seeking for T.I. and Tiny to be criminally investigated. And he has a very strong case. So things are about to hit the fan for T.I. and Tiny. Now, what made things even worse for T.I.
That
and
lip
Tiny
gloss,
was
child.
their lawyer tried to strike a deal to make this case go away. However, the lawyer turned down the offer and said no. If T.I. and Tiny are truly innocent, then they should be able to defend themselves in court. So we'll see how this whole situation pans out. But if a criminal investigation does happen, and if they are found guilty, it's gonna look very, very, very bad for T.I. and Tiny. They could face some serious time behind bars. Anyway, tell what y'all think about.
Well, that's what they need if they actually did all those things, because that was just disturbing and disgusting when I reacted to that one video. Let's talk about Beyonce and Matthew. Child, he is so messy, and he too old to be that goddamn messy. First off, why are we interviewing him? Fuck out of here, interviewer, whoever she was. Why? Just so you could ask that question? I'm confused by that part. Secondly, he didn't have to do all that. He could have just been like, yeah, there's one Beyonce. I don't think, you feel me, she could ever be duplicated. You can say something like that and keep it pushing. You are an idiot if you think that that she could be ever compared to anybody. Please, her what? Talent wise, bitch. Like, he didn't have to do all that. But I agree with him. I ain't even gonna hold you. I think Chloe is really cute. You know, I like her a lot. I think she has a very good presentation. You know, her dancing and all of that is cool. But honestly, I can't get into their music. And I told my Patreon about this recently. But I know that they're all the rave right now. People really like them. They're like, oh my God, they're so talented. Oh my God, they're everything, da da da. But I'm not getting what y'all picking up on. I have heard a couple songs and I'm like, okay, this sounds cool, but it doesn't have, you know, any replay value for me personally. Beyonce's songs are very engaging. They're very interesting. They're very, you know, they get you hyped, like make you feel like a bad bitch. Like, that's the type of music that I personally want to listen to. And I'm not saying they have to make music like that, because obviously there are lanes for different type of artists, so they can stay in their lane, but their lane is just not for me. And the Beyonce comparison is a bit odd, because that is the type of music that Beyonce makes. So I don't understand why anybody would compare Beyonce and Chloe. Like, I don't get that. This was a cool video though. I found it very entertaining. Y'all let me know what y'all thought. Let me know what other videos you want me to watch, and I'll see y'all the next time.